Hey, welcome to the Mortgage Minute for Wednesday, April 27th. Well, what else could I start with but the big news of the day in the mortgage market in the world? The Canucks finally slay the dragon and beat Chicago. Okay, we'll get back to mortgages. Couldn't resist. Had to throw that back in there for those of you in the States or in Toronto. That's playoff hockey. Anyways, news today. This was interesting. An article in the Globe and Mail. Safe as houses, that loud knocking is falling prices. So here's Rob Carrick talking about how falling prices and something we should be concerned about. Interestingly enough, BNN had on Twitter today that the average house price across Canada is increased in February. So on one hand, again, consumers getting confused. On one side, they're saying prices are dropping. On the other side, statistics show prices going up. Be prepared for lots of this in the upcoming months because media, as I've said before, statistics can be misleading depending on what point I want to get across. If I want to convince you of something, I can convince you of anything if I use statistics. Now, let me give you an example here. I'm going to use this article as a really good example. Data shows that Will Dunning, actually camp economist, spoke at RAIN last month in Toronto, shows that prices have grown on average annual average of 4.9% in Canada since March of 1988. 4.9% if you took prices on average across Canada. However, if you took the last 10 years, that number doubles from 4.9%, almost doubling to 8.3%. Why? Because there was a gap in between where they didn't rise and there was a gap when they rose significantly. So if you condense it to just 10 years, your stats look better. However, if you take a look at where we're going, because you should really analyze statistics on what they potentially are going to become, not what they were, then Will Dunning has actually suggested we could be plus or minus 2% over the upcoming 1 to 2 years. So it's interesting. For pessimists out there, sample prediction, the Toronto-based Capital Economics sees a decline in house values by up to 25% in the next 3 years. 25%. So here's the thing that I always get. Well, Peter, if prices are, how do we know if prices are going to go up or down? Here's my basic philosophy on real estate investing. I'm talking to you as investors because it was really interesting. This article was written to the homeowners suggesting that don't automatically think that your home is an investment. For example, in April 1989 to February 1996, about a 7-year window in the Toronto market, house values dropped by 31%. Now, if you took that from 1989 all the way up to today, you've had an average annual increase of about 2%. Throwing out lots of numbers here, but here's the bottom line I want to get to. If you're a homeowner and you're buying it because it's your principal residence, buy a house because that's where you want to be, it's where you want to raise your family, and it was a good investment. The markets will go up and down. Here's one. I just got off the phone with a client and I said, I like to build a business plan off of things I can control. And you know what? I can't control what the market does. Quite frankly, the market could go up by 10%, fantastic, or it could drop by 25%. Here's the one thing I can control. I'm going to make purchases in areas with strong economic fundamentals and make sure that my tenant base is very solid and strong. So regardless of what happens to the market values, I know that I have a tenant that's paying off that mortgage. And guess what? Even if I lost 31% of my house value, like they did in the Toronto market, but my tenant was paying the mortgage the entire time, 10 years later, that market's going to rebound like it did and always has. Okay, so don't get caught up in what the markets and what the newspapers are saying. You're going to see lots of conflicting viewpoints. Interest rates are not going to be skyrocketing in the next little while. May 31st is the next rate announcement by the Bank of Canada. Keep tuned here and I'll let you know what their predictions are. In the meantime, Canadian Real Estate Action Plan Home Study Guide, 6 CD set with a 100-page workbook is now available. Go to peterkinch.com for more information. That's the Mortgage Minute for April 27th.